Hey guys, Blue Jays Domain here, and it's March now, so while games still don't matter yet, Garrett Cole, it is a month that every baseball YouTuber loves because we get to make so many predictions. And well, I wanted to get this started off with a bang, and that is bold predictions. And there's a reason why these are bold, and that's because they probably won't happen. But before we go any further, be sure to subscribe if you guys are brand new here. I'd love to hit 450 by opening day. Also, check out my baseball podcast. The link to that is in the description. Okay, enough promotion. Let's get into the video. Starting off with our first bold prediction, and that's that the Los Angeles Dodgers don't win the World Series. Yeah, come after me. I don't care. And honestly, I don't really think that this is bold. But, whatever. Very rarely do we see the best team in baseball win the World Series, and even more so do we very rarely see the Dodgers beat the team they're supposed to in the playoffs. Take an example, 2019, the Washington Nationals, the 2021 Braves, the 2022 Padres, and last year, the Diamondbacks. It's very hard to win the World Series, let alone win it when other teams are going to be gunning for your throat. Everyone has the Dodgers painted with a big red circle around them in the clubhouse. Public enemy number one. They're gunning for them. It's going to make life so much more difficult for the Dodgers in the playoffs. Plus, there's, you got some injury concerns with Glasnow. Betts and Freeman didn't perform well. You don't know what Ohtani is going to be like in the playoffs. He's never played in the playoffs before. Thank you, LA Angels. You don't really know what you're going to get until you get it. Next one up is that Cody Bellinger finishes within the top 3 in MVP voting and then opts out of his deal. This one kind of feels possible. Belly seems a little bit more comfortable now in Chicago. He had a pretty good year last year, not MVP level, but an alright season. And he's got an alright supporting cast around him in that lineup. Nothing similar to what he had in his MVP season, but it's still a good lineup to have around him. And if the 28-year-old does return to MVP voting, it would make sense for him to opt out and get his payday. My next bold prediction is that the Cleveland Guardians will win the AL Central. Now, while the Twins are the favorite to win the division, this division is so wide open it's not even funny. Cleveland always has a good pitching staff, actually kind of getting a little freaky now. But if they get a little bit more offense, I don't think it's that crazy to see them take a shot at this division title. Sorry, I think Cleveland's got just as good of a shot as everyone else, not to mention competition kind of sucks. Bold prediction number 4 is that the Arizona Diamondbacks don't make the playoffs. Now, before you come after me, remember I said these are bold predictions. But the Diamondbacks have to deal with the Dodgers. That'll hurt them. The Giants look to be more competitive this year, especially after adding Matt Chapman. Plus, you don't really know what the Padres are going to be like. Maybe they're good this year, maybe they aren't. And I can see a team in the NL Central just ride that weak division into a wildcard berth and take a spot from the Diamondbacks. A lot of things went right for the Diamondbacks last year, so natural regression kind of makes sense. Kind of like a sophomore slump for the team, if that's in their cards. Next one up, I have Jackson Holliday doesn't win the AL Rookie of the Year. I think it's kind of wild that saying this 19-year-old kid isn't going to win the Rookie of the Year is bold. That's kind of the world we live in. Holliday has absolutely lived up to the hype and even surpassed it, setting even higher expectations than what was first set when we first saw him get drafted. But he did look human in AAA last year. It's the first time we've ever seen him struggle at a professional level. And for the Orioles, there's no need to rush this kid. So far in spring training, Holliday has been getting used to MLB-level pitching. Not all the time has he seen MLB-level pitchers, but he's seen it a lot more than he would have throughout last year. And he's still looking human. And that's not a bad thing. He is 19. He has so much time to develop. It's fine. There's nothing. Plus, I really like Wyatt Langford in Texas taking a run at the AL Rookie of the Year. Makes sense. He was a top bat in college, and he's going to play every day in Texas. And he's going to ball out. Next one up, I have the Cincinnati Reds making the playoffs. Remember how I said a team in the NL Central could just ride a weak division into a playoff spot? Here you go. We saw the youth movement play out in Cincy last year, from Ellie De La Cruz to Spencer Steer to Will Benson and more. The lineup looks fantastic. Their only issue is pitching. We haven't quite seen Hunter Green at the level we'd expected to, but he is just 24 and he's entering only his third year in the league. So, again, not too much to read into there. After that, though, good luck. The pitching, woof. The rotation is so thin, and the addition of Montas is nice. It's so far from enough, like, yikes, not going to be great. But this offense is built to slug, and they will win so many 10-9 games. They're just going to outslug everyone. So, yeah, Cincinnati Reds making the playoffs. Number 7, the Baltimore Orioles don't win the AL East. Now, I do try and avoid AL East bold predictions because somewhere along the line there will always be someone calling for biasness, but who cares? This is bold. I don't even think it's that bold. The Orioles just beat up on the AL East last year. Like, they kind of dog-walked the division. That is just not something you can count on to happen year in and year out. There's going to be a time where, maybe one team's just going to have your number for the year. That just happens. And there's teams in this division who got better. And some bounces aren't going to go their way this time. They're going to flip over. So if the O's don't see the same results, isn't that wild to see another team take this AL East crown? I'm not going to name the team, but there's teams. Number 8 is the San Francisco Giants make the playoffs. What? The Giants just have a sneaky team. Nothing stands out in a good way or a bad way. They just exist in the National League West. They're just there. Grabbing Matt Chapman is a great move defensively. Offensively, it's, a lot left to be desired. But defensively, he's top 2, top 1. Like, he's just there. And if they do continue their pursuit of Blake Snell, they could be very competitive. Snell and Webb at a 1-2 in that rotation is, it's beautiful. Plus, add in a little Giants even year witchcraft and, watch out. Next one up is the Angels finish with a better record than last year. Now, this doesn't mean they make the playoffs. Last year, they won 73 games, and they had Trout and Ohtani. All they have to do is win 74 games this year. Easier said than done, but weird things happen. If Mike Trout stays healthy and Rendon decides that it is okay to play more than 20 games at his 9-to-5 job, they might be all right. Basically, this just feels like something that would happen and would only happen to the Angels. So I had to put it in here. It feels so obvious. It's such an Angels thing to do, to be better without the best player in the league. So here we are. And lastly, the Pittsburgh Pirates take a massive step forward and solidify themselves in the National League Central again. Brian Hayes, stud. O'Neal Cruz, when healthy, stud. Henry Davis, future stud. Tamar Johnson, future stud. And Paul Skeens, he's just a stud. This team won't make the playoffs, but they can play very good. And I think they're going to be a really fun team to watch this year. The lineup bangs. The pitching, quite the opposite. That is their only knock, but that knock is half the roster. So yeah, yikes. But this team is poised to take a step forward. They got some awesome young pitchers on the way and a stud of a second baseman who's going to be here in the next year or two. We saw them go 20-9 in their first 29 games or something like that, or 21-9 in their first 30 games. They were rock solid. Did they play over their head a bit? Yes. But this team's going to be fun this year. You mix in all the young players with Kutch and Reynolds. I really like the Pirates this year. I've seen too much disrespect on the Pirates this offseason, and that needs to change. So I'm setting the record straight. Go Pirates. So yeah, those are my bold predictions. I'm sure someone will say these are trash, and I don't know anything, and I'm looking forward to it. But yeah, tell me what you thought of the bold predictions. What are some bold predictions you have? Let me know in the comments. Share this video with a friend if they like the Blue Jays or just baseball in general. This is a really good place to be. Subscribe if you guys are brand new to the channel, and peace.